So in the last session, we talked about working with a disconnected architecture. So for that, we used dataset and a data adapter. So the data adapter will work as a bridge between dataset and our database to look at the data and fill the data into dataset. So on dataset, we can perform any operation like adding, editing, deleting rows. Okay. So, and we can update back those details back to the database. So for that, we have update method, accept changes, different methods that you can refer once if you want. So, so this is what we saw as an example. Like we took details of student and courses. So that we filled into dataset using data adapter using fill method. So data adapter fill method will fill the data into the given data set. Okay. So we took like a drop down list and we associated that drop down list with a data table so that we were able to display name and ID in the drop down list, right? So after that, we added a row to the data table, one of the table in the data source collection. Okay. And to save that, we can use accept changes method and update method of the data adapter. So that you can refer once, like we will have accept changes method like this ds.accept changes, and we will have another method called like data adapter.update method. So to use this update method, we have to specify the insert, update, delete statements. So update this, if you see the intelligence feature, like update the values in the database by executing the respective insert, update, delete statements for each inserted, updated, or deleted row in the specified data set. So this we will see along with, we will see an example along with data bound control. So for now, just remember that to update the data set or to update the changes back to the database, we can use update method of data adapter. So for that, we have insert command, update command, delete command. So whatever the operation we want to perform, we can use those commands to update data back to the database from a disconnected environment, right? Next thing, like, so we will have some get changes method on a data table, right? So if you want to see what are all the changes made to the data table in our in-memory location, so we can use get changes method that gives the changes rows. So if the row, we will have a property called row state. So it tells us that whether it is modified or added or deleted. Okay, that way we can know how many added, how many deleted, like that. And based on that, we can perform the different operations. So accept changes commits all the changes made to the dataset since it was loaded or since last time dataset dot accept was called. So suppose I have connected to database through adapter and I filled a dataset. Now I performed different operations on dataset. And now if I want to update back to the database, we can use accept changes method. So it will commit all the changes that we made to dataset. This is also one of the method to update the data. Okay. So next topic we are going to talk about is data bound controls. Till now, like if you want to view the details, we are only seeing the single record, right? So any doubts till now before I start a new topic? No, right? Anyone? Can you please respond yes or no? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 I take silence as no, no doubts. Okay, I'm proceeding now. Right. So till now, to display the data, we are using only a single record. Suppose let's think like if we want to display list of all student details. So that for that we don't have control yet, right? So we did not see any control how we bind the data. Suppose I want to edit particular student details. How can I do that? Suppose I have 100 records. I want to show 10 records in each page. Like that. I want to perform sorting operations. We don't see any control for that. So to do that, we have data bound controls. So we have data bound controls or data controls. So that those will bind our data list collection in a form of tabular format or some kind of list format. Okay, so for that we have different controls like data list, data pager, details view, form view, grid view, list view, repeater control. Like this, we have different controls to do such operations. Like so, the data bound controls. I just opened one tutorial just to show you the list of controls. Okay, so these controls will bind our data in the form of mostly in the form of tabular structure. So among which these are the controls like repeater, data list, grid view, list view, form view. If you take a repeater control, this will bind the data in the form of simple table format. Okay, simple tabular format, no designing facilities it provides by default. Okay, it won't provide any designing facilities or any adding, editing, deleting facilities. It won't provide. When it comes to data list, it provides some designing facilities, and it will print the data in the form of uh, data table format, and it provides editing facilities. Okay, so when it comes to grid view, it provides all the features like editing, sorting, paging, all the things, all features it provides. Okay, we can see one by one, or we will jump directly into grid view. So rather than wasting time with these two controls, I'll jump directly to grid view, and we will see these two properties, these all the features of these two controls in the grid view itself. Okay, so among these three, repeater control is faster because it prints the data in a tabular format in a what we can say like simple layout manner. Okay, when it comes to data list, it will associate with some event. So when compared with repeater control, data list is bit slower. When compared to data list and repeater, grid view is bit slower, but it provides all the features that we want to perform on a particular data collection. Okay, so list view, form view, we can you can refer once how they are going to display the data. Okay, so for each control we have some templates. Okay, so for each control we will have some templates like item template, alternating template, header template, footer template. Like this we will have edit item template. So whenever I display some data, I want, if I want to display header, I can use header template. Okay, if I want to display some footer in the down of the table, so I can use footer template. Suppose I want to bind some label or text box or some coloring here. So for that I can use item template. It represents a row in a grid or in a data bound control. Alternating template. Suppose if I want to provide some coloring to the line row after row. So for that we can use alternating template. Like this, each control will have these templates. Okay, like item template, alternating template, header template, footer template. Like this, we will have different templates in each control. Okay, so with the grid view, we will see all the features. So these data bound controls will display data in the form of tabular format. They will provide editing, editing or updating the details, sorting, paging, like this. It provides all the features, deleting a record, adding a new record to the table. Like that, it will provide all the features. Okay, so to do that, so first from the data bound control, we have to take a grid view. Okay, so I double clicked on it. So I got one grid view control. Maybe remove the space. Okay. Okay, I have a grid view control. So it will have some features here. So before jumping into writing code, writing code, will perform two operations here. One is like till now we are writing code to get the data, right? So to get the student details, we wrote code here like this, adapter, data set, all this. So we have a simplest other way to write this, to generate this code automatically or to get the data automatically. Okay. So for that, we can use data source control, SQL data source control. So it connects to any SQL database supported by our ADO.NET. Okay, this will get the data. Okay, this will get the data and we will bind that data to our grid view. Okay, so here we have one button called smart button. So on clicking this, we can choose a data source. Till now we wrote the code and we specified a data source here like this, right? We specified data source like this. So in either we can write code or we can automatically get the data and bind that data with the control, any control like drop down or grid view or repeater or like that. So first we will see automatic generation of code, then we will write our own code and we'll see different operations. So first I'll show you how to get the data and bind that data to the grid view control. So from toolbox, we can double click on the grid view control. It will get a control on our design page. So here we will have a smart button. So on clicking this, we will get some different options. So first option is related to formatting. Suppose this is my default formatting of the table, how it displays the data. So if I want some different manner, so I can change whatever the color format I want like this. If you select these are the default by default provided by the Visual Studio. Okay, so whatever the format we want to display, we can take that format. Okay, so let me take this. Okay, so now my data bound control or grid view control will bind my data in that format. Okay, now so we will select a source. So we two ways we can bind the data. One is by writing code. The second way is directly binding with the database table with the data source control. So for that, so we have an option like choose data source here. On clicking the smart button, we will get that. So let me take new source. So here you can bind data from any of this data source, either database or entity or link queue or object or sitemap or XML file, anyone. So for now, we are going to do with SQL database. So I can give a database name. So my call database, I'm just specifying ID to my data source. Okay. You can specify any name there. So I'm just clicking OK. So now we have to connect to that and get the connection string. Okay. So I don't have any connections as of now. So I'm clicking on new connection. So I have to connect to MySQL server. So clicking on continuing. So it will fetch, actually it first fetch the our local server. It fetches the local server information, but my database is outside, right? So what I'll do, I'll take this ID. Just a second. So it is unable to find any database servers in my local. Okay. So I'll give the external ID. Right, this is my external server ID. So I can specify username and password. I think I have stored them somewhere last time. Just a second. Did I close them? Not this one. think I closed that. Let me get that. Okay, gave testbed 009 password. Okay. Okay, we have that connection string, right? Okay. We'll see that. So this is my server, database server, and this is my username, and I have entered password. Oh, okay, it able to connect and fetch the databases. Okay, this is my DB. Okay, let me test my connection whether it is working or not. So test connection succeeded. Clicking on OK. So now this is my data source. So I'm selected MySQL server as my data source. Okay, so it will generate the connection string now, and it will show here. See here, SQL data source. The name is Mahipal DB. That is what I mentioned. So this is the connection string. It uses to fetch the data. So data source initial catalog is this is the DB and user ID and then password. Okay. Clicking on next. So do you want to save this connection string in the application configuration file or not? So if we are going to reuse it multiple places, then we can save this. Okay. So I'll just name it Mahipal test DB connection string. So we can give any name here. So I just change name it as per my convenient. Okay. So yes, I want to save this connection string. Okay. This is my connection string key name, Mahipal test DB connection string. Right. So clicking next button. So this is just to avoid the writing code and fetching data and binding directly to the grid view control. Okay, either we can write some store, if we have a stored procedure or query, we can specify that, or if you want to fetch the columns directly, we can select here. Okay, now I want to bind the student table, not the course table. So it will show automatically it will show all the controls. Okay, so if I select only particular controls, only those two controls will be selected. If I want to select all controls, just check this text box. So it will fetch all the data. Okay. So I want to get the student details and all the columns. And here we have an option like if you want to specify some where condition, we can specify that here, or order by condition, we can specify that. We have an advanced button here. Suppose if you want to generate, insert, update, delete statements, we can check this box. And for performance related, we can use this. Okay. I want to insert the data, update the data, delete the data on this grid view. So I can check this text box, okay, from advanced button. Okay, next clicking on next. So now it will show us the preview of our database query, whatever we selected here. Select star from student. So for that we can test query. See here, am I able to print the data? This is a preview, just a preview. So we were able to configure the connection and query properly. So to check that, just we tested query. Now click on finish button. Okay. So now we have a grid view control and with one data source. Now this data source will connect to DB, fetch the data and binds this grid view control automatically. Binds this grid view control automatically. Okay. Now I want to enable paging. I want to enable sorting, enable editing, enable deleting, and even I can select a row. So for that I can enable selection. So this is my data source. Mahipal DB is my data source. Okay. So whenever I select different options, like see here, enable paging I selected. So whenever I selected enable paging, it is showing pagination. Enable sorting, it is showing underscores on a column names. Whenever I clicked enable editing, it showed edit button. So whenever I select enable deleting, it is showing delete button. Whenever I selected option called enable selection, it is showing select. Okay, so these are all the options I want to include in my data grid. Okay, so we'll see this first. We'll run and check how it will looks like, how it binds the data. I did not write any code till now. I just selected, just clicked buttons next, and provided connection detail. That's it. So I'll remove all the breakpoints first. So to disable all the breakpoints, go to debug menu, click on disable breakpoints button so that it won't hit these breakpoints. See now, so student details it is showing like ID 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right. So let me check how many records I have here. Okay. This is my DB. So I'm just selecting student details. See, so there are total 7 records. So those 7 records are visible here. Okay. Now let me try it one by one option. So now I'm clicking on ID property. See here. So the data was automatically sorted 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. I'm clicking again on it. See 13, 12, 11, 10, 8, 7, 14, 7, 4 like this. Let me click on name. So it sorted based on alphabetical order. Clicking on again on it. So it in a descending manner. Okay, like this. You can click on any column. Okay, right. So this is sorting. So if you want to select this row, so this will get selected. Now if I want to select this, you can use select. So like this. So select operation. Okay. Next, if I want to delete this record, so I can delete that. So clicking on delete. Okay, that got deleted. Let's go and check here. So we have 7 records. So now only 6 records. So row got deleted. We did not write any code. Okay, it is providing all the features. Now I'm clicking on edit. Okay, so Pawan 28. So I'm giving some city Bangalore. Now, so when I clicked on edit, it is showing update cancel buttons automatically, right? It is showing update cancel button. And if you see here, ID property was shown as a label, but other controls shown as a text boxes. So as it is a primary key, we cannot edit this value. So it is showing as a label. So other values can be edited. So it is showing them as a text boxes. Okay. So clicking on update button now. So it updated. Right. Let's go back to DB and check. See, right. So we can, when we click on edit, we will have a cancel button also if we want to cancel editing. Right. These are the different features that grid view provides. So it provides sorting, it provides paging, it provides edit button, edit functionality, select the functionality to select the rows. We can even delete the rows. We even add the rows and pagination. So to do pagination, we have to set one property. I'll show that. So let me stop it. So let's see other properties of this grid view control. So let me go to properties window. Let's check few properties here. So the back color, when we selected auto format, this is the format that we selected. So it automatically set few colors and styles. Okay, grid lines. So there are no lines here, right? Where is that? Okay, it got closed. So there are no lines. If you want to display that lines, so we can use here show footer. There is show footer. There is no footer here. Show header. We have a header, so we are showing it. So it automatically set it to true. Okay, allow sorting. So it automatically as a selected checkbox. So it set this property to true. Auto generate columns false, and then see here, this is my data source that I selected. So the data key names. So this is the primary key, comma separated list of key fields in the data source, like foreign key, primary key, unique key. Such keys can be mentioned here to uniquely identify data or to establish the relationship between other table. So that way we can set those keys here, and source ID is this one. If you have a delete method, we can specify that. Select method, update method. If you have those, we can set them. Right. Next, here my grid view ID is grid view 1. So I did not set any ID. So as of now, it is grid view 1. Okay. Columns, it got automatically selected from the data source that I set, like Mahipal DB. Okay. So we have one important property called edit index. Okay. Suppose when I am clicking here, so when I am clicking on particular row edit button, on clicking edit button, we will set edit index. Edit index. So if edit index is n, so n plus 1 row is in edit mode. Okay. If I click third one or fourth one, suppose if I am clicking fourth one, so the index will be 3. Index will be 3 because it starts with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I set edit index to 3, so fourth record will be in edit mode. In edit mode, we will get update cancel buttons and we will get text boxes to other controls. Okay. So to set that programmatically, we use edit index. So whenever we set edit index to n plus 1 record will go into edit mode. In edit mode, we will get update button, cancel button. Okay. So selected. Suppose if you want to select a particular row, so we can set that index. Okay. So for that, we have selected index, right? The index of the currently selected row. So these are two important properties that we are going to use. Okay. Next, allow custom paging. If you want to implement custom paging, we can select true here. Okay. As of now, paging is true. So the page size is 10. If you have 10 records, so each page will display 10 records. So we have only few records. So I'm just setting it to 3. Okay. The page size is 3. So in the grid, only first 3 records will be bind. Next, when we click on pagination, it will bind the next 3 records. If we click on the page number again, it will get the next 3 records like that. Okay. So for that, I am setting page size. As I have only 6 records, so I'm just setting 3 records as a page. So first I'll get 3 records in one page. Then next I'll get 3 records in next page. So let me change it to 2 just to test the functionality. So let me run it and then we'll see other properties. So in general, in applications, in real-time applications, we use 20, 50, 100 records only in a grid view. So we will have a lot of data, right? So rather than binding complete data, we can use only some kind of values like 10, 20, 50, like that, or 100 at max 100, not more than 100 in the real-time world. See here. So there are only 6 records in the data table. Okay. So as I said, page size as 2. So 6 by 2 is 3. So there are total 3 pages. So when I click second page, so currently page 1 is active. So there is no underscore like link here. So when I click second page, so the next set of records will come like Pawan Kiran. When I click third page, Harish name 100. So now if I click first, so it will jump to first name 4, name 100, like that. This way we can display the pagination. Okay. So for that we have to set page size. So let me change it to 5. Let me change it to 5. Now I'll get only 2 pages. Okay. because the page size is 5 and there are only total 6 records, so it will display in two pages. So in first page we will have 5 rows, and in second page we will have only 1 row. Okay. See, now it is displaying 5 records. When I click second page, as there is only 1 record left, so it will display that 1 record. So we did not write any code except setting page size, right? So this is one of the property for pagination. Now next thing, like here we have a different styles like alternating row style, edit row style, empty data row style, footer style, header style, pager style, rows like this. There are different style properties. Okay, so we can select that. So as we have selected some format, no need to set them now because we used auto format. Okay, so these are the different properties. So page size will set the number of records to display in a page per page. So page index will start with 0. Allow paging will set pagination to show it on grid view. Okay. So these are different properties available with grid view control. Let's jump on to events. What are the events available? So as of now, we did not write any code except selecting this data source. So this data source is automatically fetching the data and binding data to the control and providing features like enable paging, enable sorting, enable editing, deleting, selection. Suppose if we want to customize this logic, so here I'm only showing direct student details table. Okay. Suppose I have a city drop down. So I have a cities column. In city, I may have a list of values. So from that, I have to select. So I cannot change that here. I cannot do that here with this method, like selecting this option. Okay. Like if I want to display some autofill text box. So whenever I enter yum, I want to display all the student details with yum name. So that is not possible, right? So to customize that, so to customize some options which are not possible with this approach, automatic generation, code generation approach. So we can go for custom coding. So we will write our own code for paging, our own code for sorting, our own code for editing, deleting, selection. Okay. So before jumping onto that and before viewing that events, let me show some code here. So if you see HTML code, so this is grid view control. So whenever we click on grid view control from toolbox, this code will get generated. So it runs at server. So as I said, allow paging true, allow sorting true, and some back color. So it generated the code automatically. And if you see here, show delete button, show edit button, show selection. These become true now because I selected pagination, editing, deleting, selection. So that's why these are true here. Next, bound field. So whenever we see data in the grid view, so they are binding as a labels, right? So for that we use bound field. Okay. So field ID, header text is ID, like this. See here, insert visible false. So while inserting new record, this will not come. So it's a read only. That's why it is showing as a label. Okay. So if you see other fields, hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think it. Just a second, let me share my screen again. I think it got disconnected. Did you observe any issue? So This is the code automatically generated when we select options with the data source and grid view control. Okay. So columns, this way it is binding different columns to our control. Then there is no footer, header, back color and font bold, pagination related coloring or pagination related tag, selected row style. This is the selected row related styling and sorting related cell styles. Okay, this is about grid view control and its automated generated code, right? And this is related to data source, which is fetching the data and binding the data to the control. So if you see here, connection string. So I selected some connection string during the setup process. So it fetched that connection string to get some data. So we will write this evaluate expressions. We call it as expressions. So you can refer this if you want. So delete command to delete a record. Okay. Insert command to insert the records. Okay. Select command to get the data. Update command to update the data back to the database. So it got generated automatically, everything. So we did not write any code. Okay. If you see delete parameters, what are the parameters that can be deleted? Okay, insert parameters. What are all we can insert? We cannot insert ID. We can only insert name, age, address. So we can update name, age, address. So to store the original values, it got automatically storing parameters. Okay, to compare what are all changed, what are all not changed. So this is a completely automatically generated code. We did not write any single line code except setting properties or clicking next, right? Okay. So now, if you want to write code programmatically, okay, so we will have different events. We will have different events for each action. Like when paging is changing, pagination, when clicking on second page or third page. So when page index changes, so this method gets called after changing the pagination. So while changing the pagination, so when I click 2, this event gets fires. Page index changing event. Fires when the current page index of the grid view is changing. After changing, these events will get fired. Fires when the current page index of the grid view has changed. After changing, we will get the data and bind that data to the control, right? So for that, we can use this. Like row editing. So suppose if I am performing clicking on edit button, so in that case row editing will hit. Row updating. So when click on update button, this will get fired. Row updated after row getting updated, this event will get fired. Selected index change. Suppose if I am selecting a particular column, so these two will be used. Sorting related. When sorting, after sorting. So like this, we have different events. So when I double click that, it will generate a event. So for now, let me remove it. Okay, that's right. So these are the different events associated with a grid view control. For paging, page index changing, page index changed. For row editing, row updated, row updating, and row cancel editing. So if you want to cancel, when we click on cancel button, if you want to perform something, we can write in row cancelling edit, row command, and row deleted events. Row command will fire when an event is generated within the grid view. Like suppose if I have a different control, like I hyperlink to a particular column. So when we clicking that, the row command will hit. Okay. So row delete. So we have these two properties. Like this, we will have different events whenever we want particular event, we can use that event. Okay. So if we create a row, new row, this event will get fired. So data bound, this is one of the method. So once while binding the data, we can call this method. Fires after the control has been data bound. Okay. Row data bound, each row. Fires after row has been data bound. So suppose if you want to customize something, like if age is greater than 25, if age is greater than 25, I want to display that row as a red color, complete row as a red color. So we can use these data related methods, data binding. So while binding itself, if you want to check some condition, after binding completed, we can use this event. While binding row by row, we can use this. Okay. Next, init load, preload, and these are related to control. Okay. Once it is disposed, if you want to check something, while it is initializing, if you want to check something like that. These are related to page. Okay. So these are the different events that are associated with a grid view control. So like if my scenario is like I have only one page, one table, student table. I want to display all the student details that I have in the table. So I'll just simply use data source control and I will set that connection string and I'll select what are all the columns I want to display. That way it will automatically display the data. No, my requirement is different. I have to display student details, courses, admission number, and some is profile link, like that. Some customization I want to write. Then you have to write your own logic. If the requirement is straight and you have to only get one student details table and fill that in the grid view, then you can go for this approach. If you want to customize at least one element, you cannot use this approach. Like I want to have a photo of the student. So this is stored in a different location. And I want to provide link to the student profile. So I want to display hyperlink here. I cannot provide such feature. I want to display when I click edit an address, I want to display list of cities in a drop down. So I cannot provide that. Okay. If I have a gender column, I want to display radio button like male, female, transgender. So if I want to do that, I cannot do that. So for those operations which are not possible with this approach, automatic generation approach, we will go for manual approach. Okay. So this is student details table grid view. Let me add one more grid view. So with that grid view, we will write our own code. Okay. So we don't use this. We will write our own code and okay. So now we will take a grid view control and write our own code to bind the data and then perform different operations. So let me take a grid view control. Okay. Let me go to properties. Let me change its ID first to use in the coding. Meaningful ID like grid view student. This is my ID of the control, grid view control. Now I want to bind data to this grid view control programmatically. So when do we have to bind the data? So in a page load event. So when the page is getting loaded for the first time, I want to bind the data. So for that I have connection string here, query and the data set and a data adapter. I am filling that into data set. Now I will use this information to bind data to grid view. Let me comment all these. Okay. Now I have a connection string query. So let me take on. Okay, we'll show this first. We'll show this one also. Now I'll take a connection string query and data set data adapter. whatever the data I'll get, I'll fill into data set. Now, if I want to bind this data set to grid view, so what is my grid view ID? GV student dat. So I have a property called data source. So I can specify the data source as DS. Okay. So this is my data source to grid view control. This will take first table of this data set and binds to grid view. Okay. GV student dot. So I have specified the source. Now I want to bind the data. So for that I have to use data bind method. Okay. GV student data source equal to DS, and I'm calling data bind method. This bind method will bind the data table to grid view. Let's run and check will it work or not. Just a second. Hello. Sorry, network issue. Am I audible now? Hello. Yes. Yes. Let me share the screen. So the network got disconnected, so it was unable to fetch the data. So you can see that error here, network related instance specific error while establishing connection. Okay, let me rerun it. See now, so I did not apply any formatting, any option. I did not selected any option. I just provided the data source. Okay, I just provided the data source. So it bound that data to the control. Okay, so whatever the 6 records I have, it got bound to grid view control. I just wrote this code. So first prepared a connection string query, and I used dataset data adapter, filled it into dataset, and I used bind method. Now here I am selecting student and courses, but here it is binding only one table. Okay, it is only one binding one table because grid view will bind only one source, any one source. Okay, so by default it took the first table. Okay, so even here we can specify the table name like this: fill ds comma, like this. We can specify table name, temporary table name like student. The next table will take student 1, even though the table is related to courses. So if you specify a name here, so you can see that dataset and source table. Okay, so we can specify the table name here, and we can use that table name here, like tables of that table name we can use here. So if you have multiple tables in dataset, if you want to set only particular table, so that table we can mention here. Or if you want to index, if you want to use index, you can use that. ts.tables of 0. Even though you don't specify it, it will automatically take first table from the data set, because data set will have a collection of tables. So it will take the first table by default. So to specify another table, so we can specify that like this. Okay, let me show it. So now I want to bind the courses table. See here, let's check inside the data set. So data set is having two tables, table 1, student 1. So I gave student name. So next table took name as student 1. So this is previous data. So it was holding that data as well. Okay. Student 1. So now I am binding this data. So how many columns available in the select query? Those columns will be displayed by default here. Okay, course ID, course name is active, course description. Right? Now, here I have one. If I want to display some symbol, active symbol, like tick mark. If he is inactive, I want to display X symbol in a red color. So to do that, we have to use row data bound method. Okay, row data bound method. So that we can add some template like item template, and in item template we can display that different values. Okay. So just refer Google Works, you will get a different tutorials. You can try that. Now, if you want to perform edit facility or delete facility, we have to write code using events. So we'll see that. Okay. Now, any doubts till now? The approach or any doubts till now? Let me know.
No, sir.
Okay. So you must practice this to remember the steps and all. So to be familiar with the control. So just practice it after the session. Otherwise you will forget, and if you refer after some days, it will be blank again. Okay. So now I want to provide editing facility. So for that we use edit index. I'll show that. Before that, edit button, command button. Where is command button? Show footer, show header, allow sorting, auto generate. Yeah, auto generated edit button. So I just want to use auto generated edit button. Okay, and I want to use auto generated delete button. Okay, but I'll write code to edit and delete this. Okay. So I have a edit button and delete button. When we click edit button, so it has to set the row into edit mode. Just let's run and check how it will display. Just a second. So let me remove it. See now. So it auto generated edit button, delete button. So let me click on this edit. See, there is no, I did not handling a row editing event. Previously, we established the connection and we enabled all the operations. So it automatically generated everything like update command, delete command, like that, right? Insert command. But here we are going to write the code. So to handle that edit event, so I need a row editing event. Okay. So let's check that as well. So now to handle that, to handle that edit. Okay, so go to properties, go to events. So row editing event. So just double click here. So it will generate row editing event. So to put the row into editing mode, what we have to do? We have to set edit index. Okay, we have to set edit index. So whenever I click edit button, I have to set that row index as a edit index. So for that, we use gvstudent dot edit index. So from where do we get this value? So this value will be here. We are getting arguments, right? So which control is sending this event and what are the arguments of that event? So we can get that from here. So gvstudent.edit index equal to e dot new edit index. Okay, this property will give the edit value. So now we were able to set grid view row into edit mode, but we have to display the values, right? We have to display the values in the text boxes. So to do that, we have to bind that grid again so that it will take that particular row. Okay. To do that, what we have to do is, so first I'll move this code to a different method here. Okay. Private method, private dataset. I'm going to return dataset. Get grid data. This is my method name. So I'm going to get the data and return that data set. So whatever the data set I have, I want to return that. So after getting that data set, so I'll remove this code also again. So I'll directly call get grid data. So as I'm going to return data set, I'll capture that into an object. So here I'm getting the grid data into DS. So I bind this data to the grid view. So I'm just to reuse this code, to not to repeat this code again and again, I just moved it to a method. Now, so after setting a row into edit mode, I have to call the data method with grid data method. Okay, let's see that. Will it work or not? So to show it clearly, I'll put a debugger here. Now clicking on edit button. So event is fired, row editing event is fired. So if you see the event arguments, so cancel is false. I did not click cancel. New editing index is 0 because I clicked on first row. So 1 minus 1, 0. Or 0 plus 1, first row item. Okay. Right. So this will set now. So if we set edit index, the row will become, that index row will go into edit mode with cancel and update buttons. Okay, let's see that. No. See here, update cancel. Okay, so course ID, course name is active, course description. This way it is displaying all the text boxes. Now we don't want to edit this course ID, right? We cannot change this course value, right? And even the values are not binding here. Okay, so that we have to handle, like in the, so if you see the code here, so you don't see any columns and all. See, simply whatever the options that I selected, only auto generate delete, auto generate edit. On row editing, it will fire this event. So there is no data bound controls. There are no insert, update, delete commands. Nothing is there here. Okay. So simply a grid view with the options that I selected. Right. Now, let me show it again. So when clicking on delete, so there is no event. So it is throwing error because I did not write row editing event, row deleting event. I wrote only on row editing event. So to write custom logic, we have to write our own code. Okay. So when we click edit, so we are setting row into edit mode and binding, getting the data, but we are not binding to controls. Okay. So we don't, it is only displaying just controls. So we have to bind the data. So for the first time, it is even not showing that. Okay. If I click this, so it is putting into this way, but it is not binding the actual values. Okay. So it has to bind this value. So when clicking on cancel, so I did not write any event. So there is no row cancelling event. So that we have to handle. Even when click on update, there is no row updating event. So even we have to handle that. So we will generate each event one by one and we'll see them one by one. So now I need row deleting event. Okay, double clicking that. And then I need row cancelling edit event. And then I need row update event. Row updating event. So I have deleting event, row edit cancelling event, row updating event. In edit cancelling event, what I have to do? I have to set edit index to. So to cancel row editing, I have to set row index to -1. Edit index to -1. Okay. To cancel editing, I have to set edit index to -1. Then we have to bind the data grid data. GV student edit index equal to -1. Get grid data. So let's run and check once. So I generated events for each action here. Like edit I have, delete I have. In edit I have update and cancel. Even for that also I have the data events, required events. So if you see now something, there is some issue here, you'll see that. So if I click edit, so it is showing update cancel buttons. So when I click cancel, it has to move back to the original state. Just canceling it. Still it is not working. So when I click second time, it is working because we have post back. Is post back. Okay, it is properly. It is there properly. Okay, we'll see that tomorrow. No issue. So till now we were able to write the events like edit, delete. We just generated events. So when we click edit, I have to display this data in the text boxes. And I don't want to display course ID in edit mode. So for that, I have to write a template. So the template part we will see tomorrow. For now, what we will do is like when clicking on edit, okay. So I'm putting this row in edit mode, right? So this binding we will see tomorrow. For now, if I click update, I'll write some code. I'll explain some code, how we will get this data, new values, and how we pass that to update command event. Okay. So that we can write here. So the template part, UI part, I'll explain tomorrow. So for now, so while updating row, so what we have to do, I have that code already. This is one thing. So first, to get the data, so first we will display ID in the form of label. So first we have to get that label ID value. Okay, for which student ID we are editing the row. So which student ID we are editing the row, we will get that value here because we will in edit mode we will put ID as a label, right? So we don't provide it as a text box, we provide it as a label. So that's why I took a label control, label object ID. So that value I have to get from grid view dot rows of which row. So that we can get it from row index E dot. So E will store the row index. Okay, that I can with that row index I can get that row in that row. So what with this method I'll get one row. So in that row I want to find the control LBL ID. So I'll name it as a LBL ID. Like I think it got close to it. Yeah. So I'll give some LBL ID name to that control. So I'll find that label. So I'll as it is a label, so ID will be stored in label control. So ID dot text. So that way, where ID value equal to ID dot text. So I'll get that value using find control method here. So this is one way. Okay, find control. So we have another way. This is also this is with data keys. Okay, so if we set a primary key programmatically, we can use like this: grid view dot data keys, that index and that value directly. We can convert that value to string or integer. So this is one way to get the value, or we can get the complete grid view row, and with the row index we can get that value. This is another way. Okay, this is one way and this is another way. And using find control method, we can get that label value. Now, so we were able to get the ID value. Now we have to get the latest values of the controls, latest values that I entered in the text boxes. To get that, so we have new values property, collection property. So this will store the new values that we entered into text boxes. Okay, this will have names like name. Suppose if my column name is name, so it will contain that, where name equal to, okay, it will contain name. Suppose if I want age, so it will have in e dot new values of column name. So, age. Right. This way we can get each value and we can prepare a command here, right? SQL command equal to new SQL command, and we can write that command here, like update student set name equal to @name. I'm going to use properties parameters to set these values. Okay, age equal to grade age. Likewise, address equal to grade address. Like this I can set. Next, where id equal to id, I have in id value variable, that is label. I am displaying it as a label, right? So I can set it as id parameter. Now I can add these parameters to the command object. Pro command object, command dot add command dot parameters dot add with value. Okay, what is my parameter name? @id. So where is the value? id value. Okay. Like that I can repeat for each property here, each parameter here. Like next name, @name. So I have this value in e dot name, so I can use this directly, or I can get into some property variable, and I can find that here. So this way we will get the new values. Okay, new values, and prepare the command, and we execute that command. Okay, so we will see this all these things tomorrow, like binding the data in edit mode, then saving the data on clicking delete button, deleting a record. We will see those three things tomorrow. So today what we did, so we took a grid view control and we set data source, right? We set a data source, then so here we gave server name, so that it fetched the username, and using server name, username, password, it fetches the database, and we clicked that and we selected a table which we want to display in the grid view, and we tested it, we saved that. So that way it generated a source, and it automatically, by using different options like enable paging, sorting, selection, we were able to write all those, we were able to perform all those operations. So we saw that today. So programmatic we'll see it tomorrow. Okay. Any doubts till now? So in a programmatic way, we covered events. What are the events? When will happen what? Okay, like row editing, row deleting, row cancelling, and row updating. How we update the data. So to not to write all this code, we go for automatic way, automatically generating this way. This will only work with single table, or if there are no customizations, then we can go with this approach. In less time we can handle all the operations, paging, sorting, selection, editing, deleting, adding, everything within seconds. But if we have to write it programmatically, it takes a lot of time. So when there is a customization, or when there are multiple tables, so we must have to handle in a manual manner like this. So we will see one after the other tomorrow. Okay, any doubts you can ask me. No doubts? Okay, then we'll end the session, stopping the record.